I like to say that I learn something new every day, and that's pretty much my credo in my sales and marketing work. And it's, certainly I'm getting a week's worth or a month's worth tonight, so it's just great. Let me give me just a second to get my computer tuned up here. Do you like to market? Who here likes to market? Good, good. Who doesn't like to market? And I'm going to, for the sake of the tape, repeat some of the questions. Make it a quick, let's brief, but give me an honest reason why you don't like to market. Alex?
I don't like rejection.
He doesn't like rejection, okay? Other reason? Low rate of return for the time spent.
I'm sick of talking about myself.
I'm sick of talking about myself. That's a very good one. That's a very good one.
I'm too busy.
I'm too busy. That's a problem. We're in DC. Everyone's got too busy. All right, we've got an idea. One more.
It's not what I do. I'm an artist. I'm creating stuff.
It's not what I do. It's not what I do. I'm an artist, I'm a videographer, I'm an editor, I'm a producer, I'm a director, whatever, okay? I understand it completely.
You're on your next.
What is the difference? Before I move on, I just want to quickly talk about let's make clear, and I'm digressing here a little bit, what's the difference between marketing and sales? All right? It's sort of like going out, sort of like when you go to a party and people say, what's the difference between a producer and a director? And you go, producer and a director, wow, there's miles of difference between them. But to the outside world, they don't really understand. And the same thing's true with sales and marketing, but there is a difference. And I like to use a historical context in this. George Washington, when he was a surveyor, right, colonial Virginia, went out and surveyed the Appalachian lands across, west. He came back and then got farmers to go out and cut down the trees, do commerce, grow the place. He was a marketer when he was a surveyor. The people that went out after him were salespeople. That's kind of like the analogy that I use. One misconception, not everyone needs to market. And maybe you're lucky enough that you don't have to market. I have a nephew who runs an asphalt company. And this guy, who am I to tell him? He's doing very well, all right? He doesn't need to market. And he says to me at family gatherings, Uncle David, I don't need to market because I don't want to get the word out because I've got this special technology. He uses an infrared machine to go out in his truck, and he's got a couple guys that he goes out with, and they do it. He says, if the big guys knew about me, they'd come on over and steamroll me. He said, I get it all by referral, and he has more work than he needs. He turns down work. He doesn't need to market. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
How about there are certain people, even in this down community, think about it, in this down economy, who don't need to market. If you're working in the community college field right now,
I can tell you, it's enrollment's up by about 20% in community colleges. They don't need a market right now. I'm not saying they shouldn't market. They probably do need to keep the presence going. But there's a case. People are coming into them. It's a time when they don't need to market. Point made. Okay. Don't mean to belabor it. But most of us in this room, in the media field, let's face it, we need to market, right? There's lots of competition. And I know Val and I feel this way. We work in media replication, all right? Let's face it. To a lot of people and on the web out there, it's a commodity. What Val and I have to do all the time is to add value. And we've added that value because we're now doing, if you know Video Labs, and what we're doing is we're also doing related multimedia work as well, adding value to just the media rep. Yes, we can take care of your copies, but we can also do this to them and do this and do this and do this. Anything to get, the whole purpose here is to get it from being a commodity. Right? That's what we're trying to do, and I know some of you you can relate to that in your own work. What can I do to get it beyond, to add value? And that's what marketing does. So we need to market to do that. Excuse me. So what is the goal of social marketing? I'm going to skip through this pretty quickly because Mary and the others have done it. Raise awareness of you and your services. Establish, this one I really like is, and again, this is to add value. Remember, you're adding value. The challenge, I'm a sales dude. All right? What we're trying to do is add value to our product.
establish ourselves as a go-to person, all right? Val and I get this all the time. People say, well, I found this on the web, I found this on the web, I found this on the web. We're like number 14 call on there. We've got to do something to break out of it to make us be, and videographers out there, editors out there. You know how it is. No longer is it a guild, per se. You're competing with, so you have to find something to add value and be the go-to person. Website. Mary said everyone should have a website. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to give you a demonstration of mine here in just a little bit. The website, the goal of social media, as I see it as a salesperson, all right, is to drive it to the website and then to make the connection and then make the connection and then make the sale or whatever from there. But the goal, as I see it, and I'm going to demonstrate this more, is getting it to the website. Now, some people say about, and ask me this question all the time about social media and my efforts here. Well, can you monetize it? Are you getting clients out of it? Here's the thing. If direct dollar sales come from it, of course, it's great. Great, I love it, right? But that's not the final determiner of the success of the marketing of social media. All right? So I don't necessarily add a monetary source to it. I get a lot of referrals from it. I get a lot of exposure, a lot of intangibles. I know it's working, but if you ask me how much money can I directly monetize to my social media efforts, I'm going to have a hard time doing that with it. Right? So do you like to market? We got a range of questions. I love to market. I love to market. These are two guys that I found about 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago. I don't mean to turn them into Tony Robbins. Everyone's got some guru, okay? You've got some sales guru or marketing guru that you follow. These just happen to be my two guys, okay? All right, they were referred to me by two colleagues, and I really liked what they said. They have free, you can sign up for free Tuesday morning. They both send out a free magazine or newsletter every Tuesday morning. One is actionplan.com, and the guy is Robert Middleton. The other person is Nick Corcadillos of asktheheadhunter.com. Ask the Head. Now, if you're out looking for work, everyone should always be out looking for work, right? You always think, that's the point here. We're marketing. Job searching, I'm just going to digress for a second, should be just like marketing, all right? That's why this guy appeals to me. Just because what he says is the same as what Robert says about marketing. I'm going to digress with them or move on with them in a second. But again, I found them very synergistic, and I really like what they have to say. Again, www.actionplan.com, that's Robert Middleton, and then asktheheadhunter.com. Two folks that they really resonate with me. And they have common themes, and here's the two common themes about marketing, all right? It's not about me, it's about you. It's not about me, it's about you. Think about that. How many times, what is a cold call? Why do we hate cold calls? Because it's like telemarketer. A cold call is, all right, you get there, you get yourself psyched, I'm going to make 10 cold calls today, I'm going to do it, my boss is expecting me, I'm going to put it on my track report, I'm going to do it, I got all the numbers, I'm ready to go. You make the phone call, you get the person, through the receptionist, if you're lucky, you get to there, and you go, hello Joe, I'm da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and you go, Joe treats you like he does the person who calls during the telemarketer, during dinner. You finish your spiel, hey, is this a good time for you? And how you doing? All right. So you see what I'm saying? In the end, the salesperson's happy because don't worry, listen, there's a place for cold calling. I don't mean to be real, let me digress a second. I do some of it myself. But you get my point here is that what has really happened in that instance, the salesperson gets to put it on their tracking, they pass it off to the boss is happy, oh, I made 10 phone calls, everyone thinks you're brave because you made the cold calls, right? And then, but what is, if you really take a bird's eye view, what has happened? You have an annoyed person on the other end of the line. All right? So think about what I'm going to be showing here about how the theme is, it's not about me, it's about you.